Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mother Nature has tremendous impact on lives in many ways. For instance, when it comes to reducing anxiety, breathing, or to increase our creativity, we connect with nature. But what when Mother Nature turns into a lethal one? I know we cannot stop natural calamities, but what concerns me more is the human reaction. How to behave, how to respond, and how to react in such times. So never before in the history of Pakistan, no one has ever experienced such a big natural disaster and presented here how difficult it was to recover and to rebuild. I have personally experienced a natural calamity with my sisters, which occurred in Azad Jammu and Kashmir in 2005. It was the biggest earthquake in the history of Pakistan, in which around 80 to 90,000 people died. Majority of young girls, women and men sustained multiple injuries and physical disabilities. I'm one of them. I'm an earthquake survivor. I'm Romela Hameed from Azad Kashmir. Today I'm here to share my story of pain and how I converted my pain into power when things were very intense and challenging. Just imagine one day you woke up in the morning and you feel that your body isn't working anymore. How would you feel that? It happened to me. As you can see, before this disaster, I was an ordinary girl who could walk, run, and whose life was full of colors and beautiful dreams. But I had no idea what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had planned for me in the future. So now I would love to take all of you back in 2005. It's very important to answer a question, frequently asked question, what happened to me? It was a normal sunny day. Suddenly, the earth started trembling. I heard a terrifying groan and the roof above me started to over. I tried to leave the house immediately, but the ground under my feet shuddered with a single jerk, and I was inside the reverie in a couple of minutes. After this terrifying groan, there was a complete silence. A silence that could signify only one thing: destruction. Everything was entirely demolished. In this silence, I could only hear the voice of my mother. She was yelling for help. She was crying. She was constantly calling us. People were scampering around in fear, but none of them were helping us. So in this situation, I tried to stand up, but my body remained immovable because I was stuck under the mass of rubble and broken bricks and unable to see anything due to irritating dust. After 10 to 15 minutes, I was grabbed out of the wreckage without proper care, and the spinal cord sustained irreversible damage. I was injured badly, and I could only witness the entire incident with my frozen eyes and disabled body. I was broken physically, but I was in a great shock mentally and emotionally because it was all sudden and unbearable. The story did not just end here. I tried to restore some of my strength when I moved to a safer place. But it was even more shocking when I saw the ruins of my home. A home where you spend your whole childhood with siblings is a pile of shattered pieces now. That was okay. That was a materialistic loss. But one of the worst things a person may go through ever in life is losing a loved one. I lost two of my elder sisters and one younger sister-in-law in this tragedy. One of my sisters died under open sky in my father's lap due to multiple injuries and heavy bleeding. She was crying in pain. She was calling me, but I was disabled. I was a burden. I could not save her. I could not protect her. Another one, she was inside the house and we were unable to find a dead body for 3 days. It was so devastating for me, so painful. All of the time I thought of was about the home when the home was filled with beautiful memories and countless happiness. I closed my eyes so I could see them one final time. I closed my eyes to let those memories play out in my thoughts over and over again. But all I could think of was how much I would miss them. I wish I could walk, I could save them. I wish I could protect them. But I was just helpless and useless. Life doesn't get easier at any stage. So after spending 3 days and night under open sky, without having any food, blanket, and hope for survival, I was shifted to a local hospital on a bed cot. The next day, I was moved to Islamabad. But here doctors refused to take my case due to severe injury. So after 1 month, I was shifted to UAE Al Jazeera Hospital for my initial treatment and rehabilitation process. I was so excited about my surgery. I have been admitted to intensive care unit for initial treatment. The doctors placed metal rods, screws and hooks on the vertebra to prevent further damage to my spinal cord and nerves. I was so excited as I thought I would be able to walk again. But one day, after the surgery, when I was able to sit on a wheelchair, I was able to sit on a wheelchair with my new backbone that was made of iron. But most importantly, I needed a heart that should be made of iron. A heart with no emotions, a heart without feelings. I was in constant pain, in chronic depression, and I was unable to cope with the situation. So one day when I found out the truth that I had lost my mobility in both legs, and the fact is that I have a severe spinal cord injury with no motor function preserved, and I will never be able to walk again. I felt at the moment my life is ended here. Because I have already been through a lot of things, a bedridden painful life, away from family, sudden death of my sisters, and now this wheelchair bound life. Why did this happen to me? I cried the entire day and night and kept demanding from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make me happier and healthier again. I kept reacting to this situation for days, for weeks, and for months. I was so devastated, I was so embarrassed, I was so helpless. Because I was a burden till date. This earthquake lasted for only few seconds, but the impact it had on me was for the rest of my life. So after coming back to Pakistan, I restarted my education and I thought that life would be more easy. It doesn't matter if I'm unable to walk again. But when I came back to Pakistan, I realized that there are no accessible buildings, no friendly wheelchair classrooms, and no friendly transportation. Even if I talk about my physical appearance, I got unwanted attention. I was considered as a symbol of sympathy. People were looking at me as a symbol of sympathy and they considered that I'm just useless and helpless than people who could walk. So having people not included in the society on the basis of any kind of gender difference, disability, and diversity is the most painful feeling in the world. My parents were told, don't waste your time and money, how she could survive with a disability. refused admission in many colleges not on the basis of merit but due to the fact his student was in a wheelchair. I was told in class that I should study from home, not just because I'm an average student, but they cannot provide me a reasonable accommodation. I was rejected for many jobs, not based on merit, but based on my physical appearance and gender difference. That's the perception of the society, that people in wheelchair are just a burden and they cannot do anything. I was looking for ways to seek motivation in my time of adversity. However, I didn't find anyone strong, anyone as brave as I see myself. I accepted this reality that I had lost my mobility, but I hadn't lost my ability. Because it's the negative perception of the society, but it's not my fault. I can change that. I completed my 6 years of education on wheelchair as a regular student despite having accessibility challenges and negative behavior. Among 300 plus non-disabled students, I was the only one with a physical challenge in topper in class. I was awarded by Government of Azad Jammu and Kashmir to promote the standard of education in the region. I am the Pakistan's first ever spinal cord girl with a master degree in accountancy. Now there would be me. When people were looking at me as a symbol of sympathy, I was looking for ways to become proficient instead of pessimistic due to the prejudice of society. I was featured by UN Women Pakistan as an only inspiring in the women entrepreneur with a physical challenge. I'm the winner of Invent 2019. I'm the winner of Australia Award Scholarship 2018. I'm the winner of National Youth Award, and the list is long. But having 8 plus 6 years of experience in accounts, entrepreneurship, management, human resource development as a disability right activist, now I am the founder and executive of Impact Human Resources Private Limited, co-founder at the Women Journal, and the founder at SMT Self-Management Training for people with different abilities in Pakistan. So after this incident, when I came to know that I'm not the only one, there are millions in Pakistan who are in need of support and who are in need of opportunities. Every year in Pakistan, around 70 to 80% people with physical disabilities are dying due to poor health and lack of self-management skills. What are the reasons? Permanent disability, constant pain, multiple infections, multiple pressure sores, UTI infections, dependent on their families physically and financially. And there's only left one thing behind, and that is preference of death over life. Hence, my personal experience in the wheelchair has motivated me to start SMT, self-management training for 30 million people with different abilities in Pakistan and 1 billion around the globe. The reason to start SMT is to provide them the opportunities to learn basic self-skills to become independent physically and financially. We also provide different types of services like friendly transportation, attended care services for those who have muscular dystrophy, and disability-related products under one roof. Because SMT train them, learn to live, not to survive, and never allow yourself to be controlled by any kind of disability, negative behavior, and rejection. When people were looking at me as a symbol of sympathy, I was looking for ways to show them that I can do anything despite having many challenges. In this phase of life, I chose people over problem because in Pakistan, there are no reasonable accommodation concept for such people. They are neglected on the basis of any kind of gender and disability. But I want to see them next generation leaders. because I want to see them independent and alive. I will conclude my conversation with a special message to all of you. We always complain about little things in life, but we never try to start gratitude until we stumble. In my personal experience, I have learned that out of 50% people will leave you in your bad times. 30% will create more trouble for you, and only 20% will support you. So no matter what adversity or human behavior you may face, never try to kill the wonderful human inside you. It's very important to have peace with people and with yourself. Never allow any adversity to win. Never ever give up on yourself. The 17 years down the road, I see myself as an emerging leader. I'm proud what I have become today. I can do anything. I can travel alone. I can achieve everything like a normal human being. Then what's your excuse? Find the purpose, find the reason of your life, and try to resolve at least one single problem for people who are close to you, who are near to you. Thank you so much.